So, Keith, delighted to have you in the studio. Welcome on to Highland.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, listen, over the last couple of seasons, you've been one of our, I suppose, pundits, and you've been talking about different games in the League of Ireland. You've found yourself back in the mix now with Finn Harps. What's it been like for you being back at the club?
It's been great. It's been really nice to be back. You kind of. Suppose I was back there last year with Drogheda United, and I think I was saying to you earlier, like I've felt pretty uncomfortable, playing for Drogheda against Harps and that. But no, it's great being back in the Blues jersey, back up at Finn Park. The fans have been excellent. They were last week. Seeing Finn Park, almost at its capacity on a horrible evening. But it was great to have so many there, and hopefully that can last throughout the season. But just definitely somebody said to me, it's kind of like coming home, like for maybe the last year or two of your career, maybe. But no, it's a nice feeling to be back.
Yeah, you're back, but you're very much able to play at this level still in League of Ireland football, Keith. And you're the captain. You're now seen as the leader of this young Finn Harps team. There's a huge transition there. What's it been like under Dave Rogers since Dave came in? Because you were his first appointment. He was making sure that he was going to have you back at the park. What's it been like now since Dave's in there and playing with this all new group, so to speak, because it's new for everybody?
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm really enjoying working with Dave. He's a top manager. He's got bags of experience, I suppose, as a player in the league. Even if like other managers come in and have experience maybe of playing elsewhere. So he knows what the league's about. Obviously, winning with Shells a lot, playing with Derry, Drogheda, Pats. He's been around a lot of clubs, so that's going to stand him a good stead. What he's doing with Harps at the minute is, it's something that I haven't seen, I suppose, in all the years I've been there. He's changing the whole ethos of the club. He's, setting standards. He's setting expectations, I suppose, of players as well, and has no problem reminding us of those on a daily basis if needs be. Some of the lads that he's brought in, really talented players, lads that want to build careers. So no, he's definitely on the front foot. He's working hard every day. Him and Murph, have a plan each week, and they're sticking to it. And it's all really positive there at the minute.
How do you find the style of play? You're a big centre half, of course. Have you had to change things the way you approach the game now at this stage of your career?
No problem at all. You adapt, and I think it's I suppose when everyone knows what the plan is, then it's a lot easier to implement it. If obviously I'm not going to be picking the ball up and driving it onto the middle of the field and picking out passes that way, but absolutely when everyone knows the job, when everyone knows what we're doing and the style of play that's been implemented, it's great. And obviously we work on it throughout the week, and as I say, training is it's exciting. It's something different. He's got good S&C guys in there. It's just a real different environment, and one that I'm really happy to be working in.
Do the Harps faithful have to be patient with this new process now, because there's a lot of change there, and is it going to take a lengthy period of time to get the club where Dave wants it to be?
I suppose, yeah. Look, but I think that's no different to any manager that comes into a club. It's going to take a while for players to gel, especially when you looked at the team that went out last week. You had 11 new players on the pitch. Maybe Ryan Rennie's only one there from last year. So he's working with a completely new squad. It is going to take time. Yeah, they need to be patient, but I think they'll see something. I think they even saw in parts last week what we're trying to do, and I think that's going to hopefully excite them and hopefully bring back the crowds that did last week, because things are changing there. Definitely, the style of football is changing, and I think it's only going to be for the better.
Yep. Last week's game was a game that you could have got something out of. You weren't too far away from it, Keith.
Yeah, no, I think it's difficult, I suppose. First game of the season, you're not really sure what other squads are going to come with, or what other teams are going to come with. I suppose we know if we was working with Ollie, what style that he's going to implement, and John Caulfield as well. So you got two. Won't say that there's much contrast in there at all. You know what you're going to get. Those teams are going to be direct. They're going to work hard. They're going to play for second balls, and that's exactly what they did. And they did it in a bad night on a bad pitch, I suppose. And it worked out for them. We were disappointed at the manner that we conceded some of the goals, because we had worked on that. But we have to be better. We have to. We know what most teams are going to try and do. I suppose as the weeks go on, we will find out more about teams and about what they're looking to do, and that we just have to try and counteract that. But I think the first week, like I said, you're not really too sure what you're going to get. But I thought we dealt with most things well. It's about lads getting experience now, learning from their mistakes, and try and just implement better and do better as the games come now thick and fast.
What do you expect now on Friday? Athlone away. It's the first away game of the season, Keith. So what's going to be on the table on Friday night?
Yeah, it's always a tricky game. It's always a difficult place to go. Now we're changing up surfaces, so we're going from a sticky, heavy Fun Park pitch last Friday night. Now we're going to one of the Astros in the league. So look, they'll have trained that all week, as will we have. We've got lads that can play. We've got a lot of lads that are used to getting the ball down and getting on it. We've got a lot of pacing and good areas. So look, we'll be looking to try and I suppose worry about ourselves more. And just try and counteract what they do. It's a game for us that we want to try and lay down a marker now. We've seen what Galway have last weekend, and I say we just focus more on ourselves and try and get ourselves up and running.
But a first one for a new group would be huge. It'd be a big morale boost, so it would.
Massive lift, yeah. Look, 3 points any time of the season is good. You always want to get that monkey off your back, get that first win. So we'll be hoping to pick up 3 points, but as we will every week, they've setting us up every week to go and win each game. Probably your next question is going to be, does that mean you're going to win the league? I don't know about that, but every game we're going to go out and try and win it. We think we've got the players that can do that week in, week out. So that's going to be the aim for the season.
Who do you think the contenders are going to be then in the first division? Obviously you played one of them in Galway, but if you can get top 5, you're going to be in playoffs, but can Harps get there, and who do you think are the big sides this year in that division?
Well, I suppose if you look at last year, some of the squads that made the playoffs, they have Galway, you have Treaty, you have Waterford that look very good. They've got that close connection across the water that they can sort of bring in players on loan and have done. They lost a bit of quality, but they seem to have replaced it as well. Comfortable 3-0 win last week for them. And then there's another spot then obviously up for grabs, but with what we have, look, we're obviously confident in what we have. It'll take a run of fixtures, the sort of, I suppose, the first phase of games till we see what everyone has. But no, we're confident in our own ability. As I say, we're going to go out every week to try and win the game, and we just have to see where that takes us.
Yeah, I'm going to get your thoughts now in the Premier Division, because we did that over the last couple of seasons. You played Derry City in a pre-season friendly. They've added players as well. Are Derry going to get closer to that title, do you think, this year?
You would think so. You think so with the quality that they brought in, and the quality that they already had. What they've added to, as I say, we played them a few weeks back now, and I think Rory Higgins is going to have a difficult job keeping everyone happy, I suppose, trying to get the squad right. When you have so many options, it can be difficult. So he has a job on his hands there. They would have been thinking that a trip to Inchicore last week would have brought 3 points. We have a few Derry lads in around the squad and that as well, and they were thinking, it's going to be. But we know this league, the Premier League's massively competitive. Everyone has added quality, so they might not have it all their own way, but we can expect them to close the gap on Rovers.
Is there more pressure on Derry now this year? Because everybody's talking about them more now than what they were 12 months ago.
I think so. Yeah, I think sort of when they've had that time to settle. The new manager. Well, it's not a new manager now, but he's well settled on now. A full season under his belt, and they're pushing. They've invested heavily within the squad. All the talk seems to be about Derry, which brings its own pressure too. I think Shamrock Rovers are actually maybe delighted that that all the talk is on them, takes the pressure off them. Obviously, the champions for the past few seasons, and they'll want to keep that as well. They've added a bit of quality too, but they've also lost a couple of players, with that experience, and so. It is going to be difficult in the Premier League to try and pick a winner, but you have to be thinking it's going to be Rovers or Derry.
Okay, then. Finally, Harps or Athlone from tomorrow night, Friday.
Finn Harps, absolutely.
We look forward to it. Thanks for joining us, Keith.
Cheers, Ash, and thank you.